You can start, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, students. In previous class, we have discussed up to 100 questions. Let us start the question number 101. Select the incorrect statement. Rhodopsin is also known as visual purple. Yes, the statement is correct. Rhodopsin is also known as visual purple. It is responsible for the vision in dim light. Rods contain the purplish red protein, which is turn contain derivative of vitamin A. Yes, rods contain the rhodopsin pigment. It is a purple, visual purple, and the a aldehyde present in the rhodopsin is retinol. The retinol is the derivative of vitamin A. Once again, I repeat: the rods contain the pigment is purple, red, or visual purple. That pigment consists two parts: a protein opsin and a aldehyde, that is retinol. Retinol is the derivative of vitamin A. So second statement also correct. Next, in human eye, three types of cone cells are present. Yes, in the human eye, three types of cone cells are present. They are erythrolabes, cyanolabes, and chlorolabes. Erythrolabes are sensitive to the red color. Cyanolabes are sensitive to the blue color, whereas chlorolabes are sensitive to the green color. Next, fourth statement. At fovea of the retina, resolution is minimum. So this statement is wrong. Fovea of the retina. What is fovea? In previous class, I explained about macula lutea and fovea centralis. Fovea is a depression present in the macula lutea. What is macula lutea? A macula lutea is a yellow circular area is located at the posterior pole of the retina. So here they are saying at fovea of retina, resolution is minimum. In the fovea of the retina, resolution is maximum because there only the cone cells are crowded. The huge number of cone cells are present at the fovea centralis. Therefore, it is responsible for the acute vision and high resolution of the image. So in this, they are saying minimum resolution. That's what the fourth statement is wrong statement. So incorrect answer is fourth option. Next, question number 102. At the posterior pole of eye, lateral to blind spot, lateral to the blind spot, there is a yellow pigmented spot is called as macula, and the central pit present in the macula lutea is called as fovea. So at the posterior pole of eye, lateral to the blind spot, there is a yellow pigmented spot is called as macula. Yellow pigmented spot is called as macula, and the depression present in the macula is called as depression present in the macula is called as fovea centralis. That fovea centralis is responsible for the acute vision. Therefore, answer for 102 question is second option. Next, question number 103. Which of the following statements is false about cones? The daylight vision and color vision are functions of cones. And cones are the pigment present in the cones is the iodopsin. That pigment is responsible for the day vision or photopic vision. Day vision or photopic vision, and also they are sensitive to the different colors. They can distinguish the different colors. So first statement is right. In human eye, there are three types of cones having the characteristic photopigment that respond to the red, green, and blue light. Just now I have said that there are three types of cone cells in the human retina: erythrolabes, cyanolabes, and chlorolabes, and they are sensitive to the respective colors. Next, third statement: the sensation of the different colors are produced by various combination of these three type of cones. Yes, the sensation. Here only we have three types of cone cells: one red, green, blue, and the all remaining colors will be produced by the combination of these three cells. Next, fourth statement: when these three type of cones are stimulated equally, a sensation of white light is produced. Yes, when all the three type of cone cells are stimulated equally, we can perceive the white color. Therefore, there is no incorrect statement. So in the question, they are asking to find out the false statement about cones. So answer is fourth option. Let us move on to the next question. Which of the following option is wrong? Eye muscles are attached with sclera. Eye muscles are also called as extrinsic muscles. Extrinsic muscles. There are 6 extrinsic muscles which regulate the movement of eyeball. Here, these eye muscles, extrinsic muscles, are attached to the sclera. One side they are attached to the bony orbit, and one side they are attached to the sclera to regulate the movement of eyeball. Yes. Next, second statement: a visual purple, that is rhodopsin, is concerned with the dim light, while visual violet is concerned with the bright light. Yes, this is also correct statement. Rhodopsin, visual purple is nothing but rhodopsin is responsible for the dim light, and the visual violet is nothing but iodopsin is responsible for the bright light. So second statement also correct. Next, the color differentiation is done by the cones. Yes, that third statement also correct. So there is no wrong statement. Therefore, answer is fourth option. Next, twilight vision is also called. Twilight vision is nothing but a night vision or scotopic vision. Night vision or scotopic vision. The day vision is called as photopic vision. So your night vision or twilight vision or scotopic vision is carried out by the cone cells, not rod cells. The photopic vision is carried out by the rod cells. Therefore, answer is second option, the scotopic vision, and is function of cone cells. By this question, we have completed questions regarding to eye, human eye. Next, I would be dealing with some objective questions from the human eye, ear, structure and functions of the ear. First question: the bony labyrinth is filled with. What is bony labyrinth ear? The internal ear is also called as labyrinth. The internal ear is also called as labyrinth. It is divided into two parts: bony labyrinth and membranous labyrinth. Bony labyrinth is filled with perilymph, whereas endo membranous labyrinth is filled with endolymph. Once again, I repeat: the internal ear is called as labyrinth. It is divided into two parts: bony labyrinth and membranous labyrinth. Bony labyrinth is filled with perilymph. Membranous labyrinth is filled with endolymph. So here they are asking the bony labyrinth is filled with perilymph. Third option. In the diagram, you can see the blue color part is a bony labyrinth, and this red color part represent membranous labyrinth. Here membranous labyrinth is embedded in the perilymph of the bony labyrinth. This is NCERT statement. Membranous labyrinth. This is membranous labyrinth. The membranous labyrinth is embedded in perilymph of the bony labyrinth, because bony labyrinth is filled with perilymph. You actually, the membranous labyrinth floats on the perilymph in the perilymph of bony labyrinth. So question number 106, answer is third option. Next, in the human ear, utriculus and sacculus, there are calcareous particles called otoconia, which respond to. Here, internal ear consists two parts. Internal ear consists two parts. One is cochlea and vestibular apparatus. That means the membranous labyrinth consists two parts. One is cochlea and another one is vestibular apparatus. Cochlea is responsible for the hearing function, and vestibular apparatus is responsible for the body balance. Cochlea is responsible for the hearing function, and vestibular apparatus is responsible for the body balance. Here vestibular apparatus consists again two parts, semicircular canals and otolith organ. Semicircular canals and otolith organ together called as vestibular apparatus. Semicircular canals are meant for the dynamic equilibrium. Semicircular canals are meant for the dynamic equilibrium, that is change of body position to the acceleration or rotation of the body, that is perceived by the semicircular canals. Next, otolith organ consists two parts. Otolith organ consists two parts, utricle and saccule. Utricle and saccule. This utricle and saccule is responsible for the static equilibrium. Utricle and saccule. That means otolith organ is responsible for the static equilibrium. That means the maintenance of the body posture when we are in the car or when we are in the lift, that is carried out by the otolith organ. The otolith organ consists two parts. One is utricle and saccule. And the sensory ridge present in the utricle and saccule is called as macula. Sensory ridge present in the utricle and saccule is called as macula. You can see here in the diagram, in the image, you can see this is the macula. Sensory ridge present in the saccule and utricle macula. The macula is composed with two types of cells, sensory hair cells and supporting cells. Sensory air cells and supporting cells. These are sensory air cells. They contain stereocilia or kinocilium. Stereocilia or kinocilium. Above that stereocilia of the sensory air cell, there is a membrane, gelatinous membrane is called as otolith membrane. That otolith membrane consists crystallized particles which are made up of calcium carbonate called as otoconia. In the diagram here you can see these are the otoconia. They are made up of calcium carbonate. They are crystals, or the ear, we can say the ear sand. This otoconia is the ear sand, and they respond to the change of the posture. When we change our body posture, that is detected by the otoconia. So answer is first option. Next question. The tympanic membrane is composed with. The tympanic membrane separates the external ear from the middle ear. The tympanic membrane is also called as eardrum, is made up of connective tissue. Tympanic membrane is made up of fibrous connective tissue and covered by the skin at the outer side and mucous membrane at the inner side. Outer side, it is made up of connective tissue and covered by the skin at the outer portion and whereas the inner side it is covered by the mucous membrane. So first option, the connective tissue covered with the skin, it is made up of composed with the connective tissue covered with the skin outside and with mucous membrane inside. The first answer is the first option. In the diagram you can see this is the ear drum, tympanic membrane. Next, question number 108. Scala vestibuli, scala media, scala tympani of human ear contains. First, what are the scala vestibuli, scala media, scala tympani? These are the parts of the cochlea. The cochlea is the coiled portion, coiled helically wrapped structure, spring-like structure. It is coiled like a spring. Internally, the cochlea is divided into three parts by two membranes. Cochlea is divided into three parts by the two membranes. The three parts of the cochlea are: the upper portion is scala vestibuli, and the middle portion is and the lower ventral portion is scala tympani. By two membranes, I said that here. Scala vestibuli and scala media are separated by Reisiner's membrane, and scala media and scala tympani are separated by the basilar membrane. Once again, I repeat, the cochlea internally it is divided by the three parts or three chambers by two membranes. Three chambers are scala vestibuli, dorsal one, scala media, middle portion, and the ventral portion is scala tympani. Here, scala vestibuli and scala media are separated by Reisiner's membrane, and scala media and scala tympani are separated by basilar membrane. Now, scala vestibuli and scala tympani are the parts of bony labyrinth. Scala vestibuli and scala tympani are the parts of bony labyrinth. Therefore, they are filled with perilymph. Whereas scala media is part of membranous labyrinth. It is actual cochlear duct, cochlear canal. Scala vestibuli, scala tympani are the parts of bony labyrinth. So they filled with perilymph, and the scala media is the part of membranous labyrinth is filled with endolymph. So here in the question they are asking scala vestibuli, scala media, scala tympani of human ear contains. Scala vestibuli, perilymph, scala media, endolymph, scala tympani again perilymph. Therefore, answer is first option. Next, question number 109. The damage to the ear by sudden explosion is prevented by. Damage to the ear by the sudden explosion, the louder sound is prevented by. When the large number or high frequency sound waves enters into the which strike the tympanum and enter into the middle ear cavity. Here middle ear cavity is connected with pharynx, nasopharynx, with help of eustachian tube. So your access sound waves are passes through the eustachian tube into the pharynx. So eustachian tube is responsible. Next, tensor tympani muscles. These tensor tympani muscles which are attached to the malleus, the bone malleus. Next, stapedius muscles. These are the skeletal muscles attached to the stapes, the ear ossicle, one of the ear ossicle. There are three ear ossicle, malleus, incus, stapes. So here the muscle, skeletal muscle which attached to the malleus is the tensor tympani, and the skeletal muscle which attached to the stapes is stapedius muscle. And these two muscles also play the important role to protect the middle ear or eardrum from the access sound waves. by vibrating the ear ossicles. Therefore, answer is fourth option. Next, question number 10. Passage connecting middle ear with the pharynx is called. Just now I said that the middle ear cavity is the air-filled cavity that is connected with the pharynx with help of elastic tube, cartilaginous tube is called as Eustachian tube. Therefore, answer is fourth option. Next, 111. Chief function of semicircular canals of internal ear. Already I have told that semicircular canals are responsible for the dynamic equilibrium. Semicircular canals are responsible for the dynamic equilibrium or angular acceleration. Dynamic equilibrium or angular acceleration. That means our body posture, change of our body posture or rotation of our body posture is detected by the sensory ridge present in the semicircular canal. So our body posture is maintained by the semicircular canal. When we rotate our head or when we rotate our complete body, so that time our body posture is controlled by semicircular canal. Here, first option, balancing and hearing. So here semicircular canals are not involved in the hearing function. Next, second option, to perceive the sound vibrations of high frequency. No, the semicircular canals, they do not have the ability to perceive the sound vibrations. So second option also wrong. To maintain the dynamic equilibrium of the body. Third option is correct. Semicircular canals are meant for dynamic equilibrium, and otolith organ, utricle and sacula are meant for the static equilibrium. What is static equilibrium? When we are in the rest, when we are in the car, when we are in the lift, that time our body posture is controlled by the utricle and sensory ridge present in the utricle and saccule. Next question, 1112. In mammals, the organ of Corti occurs in. The organ of Corti is the specialized sensory ridge, which is purely meant for the hearing function, located on the basal membrane. Here, cochlea is divided into three parts: scala vestibuli, scala media, scala tympani. Scala vestibuli, scala media are separated by resinous membrane, whereas scala media and scala tympani is separated by the basilar membrane. So here you can see above the basilar membrane there is a sensory ridge is called as organ of Corti. This organ of Corti consists two types of cells: sensory hair cells and supporting cells. The sensory air cells are meant for the perception of the sound vibrations, sound impulse. Therefore, answer, in mammals, organ of Corti occurs in cochlear canal. It is present above the basilar membrane. So here, scala media is also called as cochlear canal. Scala media is also called as cochlear canal because it is a part of membranous labyrinth. So answer should be third option, cochlear canal. Next, question number 113. The scala vestibuli communicate with scala tympani through the narrow canal called. In the diagram, you can see this is the coiled structure is cochlea. This complete part is the cochlea. This part, it is divided into three chambers. This is scala vestibuli. This is scala media. This is scala tympani. Scala vestibuli, scala media, scala tympani. Right? Here two membranes. One is resinous membrane, another one is basilar membrane. Now, at the apex region, scala vestibuli, this is the scala vestibuli, dorsal portion is scala vestibuli, is connected with the scala tympani. Scala vestibuli is connected with scala tympani through a narrow canal that we can call as helicotrema. Scala vestibuli at the apex region, the scala vestibuli is connected with the scala tympani through a narrow duct is called as helicotrema. Let us see the question. See here. The scala vestibuli communicates with through narrow canal is called as helicotrema. Second option is the answer. First, ductus endolymphaticus. That is a duct arises from the utricle. A duct arises from the utricle. And third option, ductus utriculi. This is also duct arises from the utriculi. Sacculo-utricular canal. The canal which connects the saccule and utricle is called as sacculo-utricular canal. So your answer, the scala vestibuli communicate with the scala tympani through a narrow canal, that is helicotrema, is very important, very important point. Next, Dieter's cells are found in here organ of Corti. You can see the diagram of organ of Corti, the image of the organ of Corti. Here organ of Corti is composed with two type of cells, sensory hair cells and supporting cells. Sensory hair cells and supporting cells. In image you can observe that these are the sensory hair cells. Above the sensory hair cell there is a tectorial membrane, and these remaining all cells are the supporting cells. Cells of Ensens, cells of Cladius, and cells of pillar cells, and cells of Dieteris. These all are supporting cells of the organ of Corti. Here you can see the cells of Dieteris. These cells are the type of supporting cells. So cells of Dieteris are present in organ of Corti. Therefore, answer is third option. Next question number 115. The cochlea of mammalian internal ear is concerned with. Cochlea is purely meant for the hearing function. It does not involve in the body balance. Body balance is carried out by the vestibular apparatus. Therefore, answer is first option. Next question number 116. High frequency sound waves vibrate the basilar membrane. High frequency sound waves vibrate the basilar membrane. Where basilar membrane is present? What is basilar membrane? The membrane which separates vestibule scala media from the scala to the basilar membrane, the organ of Corti is present. What is the pathway of the sound waves? First we'll see. First, sound waves are collected by the pinna, then enter into the external auditory meters, and they strike the tympanum. Then tympanum reproduce the sound vibrations which are given to the ear ossicles. Then through the ear ossicles, the sound waves are enters into the internal ear. Here are three ear ossicles: malleus, incus, and stapes. Stapes is connected with the membrane of oval window. So their sound waves, sound vibrations strike the membrane of oval window, then enter into this oval window is the opening of scala vestibuli. So first the sound vibrations are enters into the scala vestibuli. Then from scala vestibuli, the sound vibrations are enters into the scala media. Once the sound vibrations are enter into the scala media, there will be waves generate in the scala media. So at the area of the helicotrema, at the area of the helicotrema, at the region of the helicotrema, the sound vibrations occurs in the basilar membrane. So here high frequency sound waves vibrate the basilar membrane. High frequency sound vibrations vibrate the basilar membrane near the helicotrema. What is helicotrema? It is a narrow canal between vestibuli, scala vestibuli, and scala tympani. So first vibrations are enters into the scala vestibuli, then they pass to the scala media. So that is a passage of the helicotrema is the passage for the sound vibrations. So first the sound vibrations, they vibrate the basilar membrane near the helicotrema. So answer is first option. Next question number 117. The specific receptor responsible for the balance of body and posture are. Specific receptor they are asking. Vestibular apparatus is responsible for the body balance and posture. Body posture and body balance. Here vestibular apparatus consists two parts: semicircular canals and otolith organ. The sensory ridge present in or sensory receptor present in semicircular canal is the crista ampullaris, whereas the sensory ridge present in the otolith organ is macula. So crista is the sensory ridge or specific receptor present in the semicircular canal meant for the dynamic equilibrium, and the macula is the sensory ridge present in utricle and saccule, that is in the otolith organ. It is responsible for the static equilibrium. So body balance and posture are regulated by the crista and macula. Therefore answer is second option. Crista is the sensory ridge of semicircular canal. Macula is the sensory ridge of the otolith organ. Let us move on to the next question. Which part of the human ear plays no role in the hearing as such, but otherwise is very much required? Ear ossicles, they play the role in the hearing, because what is the function of ear ossicle? They transmit the sound vibration from tympanum to the internal ear through oval window. While transmitting the sound vibration, they increase the intensity of the vibrations. That means the amplification of the sound vibration takes place in the ear ossicles, right? Eustachian tube also play in the hearing function because it equalizes the pressure either side of the ear drum. Organ of Corti is also meant for the hearing function. So which is not meant for the hearing function? The vestibular apparatus is not meant for the hearing function, but it is very required for the body balance. Therefore answer is fourth option. One 118 question, answer is fourth option. Next question number 119. The scala vestibuli is connected with oval window, also called as fenestra vallis, whereas scala tympani is connected with round window, also called as fenestra rotundus. Once again I repeat, scala vestibuli is connected with oval window, also called as fenestra vallis, whereas scala tympani is connected with the round window, also called as fenestra rotundus. So here scala vestibuli is connected with fenestra vallis. Answer is second option. Next, select the total number of true statements from the following. Scala vestibuli ends at the oval window, right? Scala tympani terminate at the round window, right? Vestibular apparatus located above the cochlea, right? Otolith organ consists saccule and utricle, also correct. Otolith organ consists two parts, one is saccule and utricle. Therefore answer is fourth option. All four statements are correct. So answer is fourth option. Next question. The waxy substance which coat the surface of auditory canal, waxy substance which coat the surface of auditory canal is produced by. In the auditory canal are external auditory meatus, also called as external auditory meatus. The inner lining of external auditory meatus consists the numerous wax secreting glands. They are ceruminous glands. Ceruminous glands are present. They are modified sebaceous glands. So ear wax is secreted from the ceruminous glands. Ceruminous glands are a type of exocrine glands, and they are modified sebaceous glands. So for this question, answer is fourth option, ceruminous glands. What are Hardinian glands? The mucous skin glands present in the amphibians. Gis glands or glands of Gis. These are located in the eyelids of the human. Meibomian glands and glands of Gis are located in the eyelids of the human. Here, meibomian glands secrete the lubricating substance that prevent the friction between the eyelid and the eyeball. And glands of Gis secrete the white color substance. Morning time, there is an accumulation of white substance at the corner of the eye that is secreted by the Gis glands. These two are located in the eyelids of the human eye. So 121 answer is fourth option. Next, 122. The base of semicircular canal is a solid and is called as, here in the diagram you can see the swollen part of the semicircular canal is called as ampulla. Ampulla. And the sensory ridge present in the semicircular ampulla of the semicircular canal is called as crista ampullaris. So the swollen part of the semicircular canal is called as ampulla, and the sensory ridge present in the ampulla is called as crista ampullaris. Therefore, answer is second option. The swollen part is called as ampulla, and the sensory ridge, projecting ridge, called crista ampullaris, which has air cells. And those air cells also you can see here. The maximoid image. This is the swollen part, ampulla. Inside that, crista ampullaris is present, and that the crista ampullaris structure, it consists two type of cells: sensory air cells and supporting cells. Next question. In the ear of human, the sound waves pass from middle ear to the inner ear through. From middle ear, in middle ear contains ear osticle. Ear ossicles are responsible for the transmitting of sound vibrations from middle ear to inner ear. So here, ear osticle, a stapes that is connected with oval window. Stapes is connected with oval window. So from the middle ear through the stapes, the sound vibrations are, sound waves are enters into the inner ear through fenestra ovalis or oval window, because the stapes is connected with oval window. Oval window is also called as fenestra ovalis. We'll see the options. Foramen oval. This foramen oval is the opening present in the interauricular septum of the human heart during embryonic development. Foramen oval is the small aperture or opening present in the interauricular septum in human heart during embryonic development. Here, fenestra ovalis is also called as oval window. So here, sound vibrations, sound waves from middle ear to internal ear is entered through the fenestra ovalis. Therefore, answer is second option. Next question number 124. Which of the following is not a membrane in the cochlea? Resinous membrane, tympanic membrane. What is resinous membrane? The membrane which separate scala vestibula and scala media is called as resinous membrane. Right. It is a part of cochlea. Next, tectorial membrane. Above the organ of Corti, there is elastic membrane is called as tectorial membrane. Right. Next, third option. Tympanic membrane. This tympanic membrane is also called eardrum. It is not the part of cochlea. It is part of external ear. Basilar membrane. The membrane that separates scala media and scala tympani is called as basilar membrane. It is the part of cochlea. Resinous membrane, tectorial membrane, and basilar membrane. These three are parts of cochlea, but not the tympanic membrane. Therefore, answer is third option. Next question number 25, 125. The middle ear serves which of the following auditory function? It converts the pressure waves into fluid pressure waves. As middle ear convert pressure waves into fluid pressure waves. Because in the internal ear is the fluid filled cavity. Middle ear is the air filled cavity. So up to middle ear, pressure waves will be present. Once the stapes transmit these pressure waves into the lymph, perilymph, they are converted into fluid pressure waves. First statement is correct option. Next question number 126. Place each of the following statement by using the number A to I to describe the events that lead to the formation of an auditory impulse. So here many statements are given. We have to arrange in the sequence. First, I will explain the mechanism of auditory function, hearing function. First, sound vibrations are collected by the pinna. They are passes through the external auditory meters, then converge onto the tympanum. Then the tympanum, when the sound vibrations strike the tympanum, your tympanum regenerate the sound vibrations, then passes to the ear ossicles. While passing sound vibration through the ear ossicles, the amplification of sound waves takes place. Then these sound vibrations strike the membrane of oval window, then enter into the perilymph of scala vestibuli. From the stapes, the sound vibrations are enters into the perilymph of scala vestibuli. From scala vestibuli, they enter into the middle ear, middle part of the cochlea, that is scala media. Then in the endolymph of scala media, the waves will generate. Due to these waves, the basilar membrane show the rippling movement, up and down movement. When the waves generate in the endolymph of scala media, the basilar membrane shows the rippling movement. Due to rippling movement of basilar membrane, the sensory air cells present on the organ of Corti bend against the tectorial membrane. That pressure creates the action potential in the sensory air cells. The sensory basal part of sensory air cells are connected with afferent neurons. So through these afferent neurons, the impulse, the sound vibrations or sound impulse are reached to the temporal lobe of the cerebrum, where analysis of this sound vibration takes place. Then we can able to understand that particular sound vibration. So here first, which D, sound waves passes through the ear canal, that is external auditory. Sound waves cause the eardrum to vibrate. Vibration is transformed from the malleus to the incus to the stapes. Next, I, membrane at oval window vibrates. Next, H, vibrations move from the fluid of vestibular canal to the fluid of tympanic canal. Next, B, basilar membrane move up and down, that is rippling movement of basilar membrane. Next, E, stereocilia of air cells of organ of Corti rub against the tectorial membrane. Next, G, nerve impulse are generated in the sensory air cells. Next, C, nerve impulse is transmitted in the cochlear nerve to auditory cortex of brain. Their impulse analysis and recognition takes place. Therefore, answer is first option. By this, we have completed the important objective questions of topic neural control and coordination. In the next class, I will start chemical coordination and integration.